Hello, hello, scrappy friends. Welcome to Workshop Wednesday. And we are going to dip quickly right into our keeping scrapbooking simple. But before I do that, I want to apologize if you hear the wind. Once again, it's Wednesday and the wind is just blowing like crazy today, and it's really super loud. So I apologize if you hear that. I wish I can stop that because you know I would. So anyway, let me turn my screen around because we're going to jump into our layout and talk about our project recipe that we chose for today. So yeah, we're doing our Keeping Scrapbooking Simple series, and as you probably know, we are using the Creative Memories 52 Scrapbooking Project Recipe book to complete this series. I think for the whole year we'll be able to use this book. I went through and picked out a handful of recipes, and once I complete all those, then I'll go back and pick some more. But today we are going to work on page 16 of the book, and it's this one right here. Let me hold this up because I think you'll see why I classified this one as keeping it simple. And keeping it simple doesn't mean that it's not going to be a beautiful page. I just think this is the most beautiful page right here. That's what drew me to this page right away. But you're going to see the cuts are simple and the decorating will be simple. We need 3 pieces of designer paper or pattern paper for the cutting and for the mats of our photos. And then we're going to need, of course, 2 pieces for a background. So whether you choose colored cardstock or some more pattern paper or work directly in your album, all that's fine. That's totally up to you. I think it's going to look nice regardless of what you use. I did want to point out, if you're following along, that background piece is showing right here. They use the dark green cardstock, and so it shows right here in the center of both pages. Okay, if you don't have a copy of the book, I did put a PDF up on my blog over at my website, which is not listed here on my screen. I'm not sure why, but it's DianeGutierrezScrapbooking.com. And go to the blog. It should be the very first blog post. Now, the blog post, I put the original recipes, what they use for the original. This book is, they took older recipes and used them with more current product. And so in the one on the blog, I find very interesting because they look completely different this time. The one on the blog seems to me like much more busy because they picked a more busy piece of pattern paper for this part right here. And they did a little bit different punch out. They both used a border punch. This one, they layered it on top to cover up that seam. And then on the one on the blog post, you'll notice they tucked it in and then they covered up the seam with a border sticker. So there's so many different ways that we can use these recipes, and that's truly what I find so great about them and why I wanted to use this book this year. I'm going to be using the new Noteworthy Days collection, and I picked out my 3 pieces of pattern paper, and you'll see this one's not a full sheet. If you look down here, number 3, these are just used for photo mats. So even if you wanted to skip this matting your photos, you can skip that whole piece of pattern paper. But I had this scrap and I didn't have another piece of it, so I measured and made sure that it's going to be perfect for what I need for today's layout. I'm going to be doing some photos, documenting some photos from a Father's Day 2023. So that's what Noteworthy collection is perfect for. It hits all those major holidays throughout the year. So I know I could bring in some of the stickers and find something that will work. So this one we already identified as paper number 3. And this star paper is what I'm going to use for pattern paper number 1. So if you're following along, this will be the paper number 1. And let me show you the book really quick one more time. It's going to be for this strip right here where they have the green paper in the back there. And then for my second piece, I'm going to bring in this brown. And your second piece really should, you should like both sides because we're going to punch out and use the second side. Easy cut on page number 1. We are going to cut this one right in half at 6 inches. This design is what I like to call the half and half, and they're doing it vertical this time. The second piece, we're going to get a little bit more detailed, and we are going to do a couple punch outs, use some of it for our page layout. So for my punch, I brought in something totally different, and I brought in the Fishnet border punch. I'm bringing this in mainly for texture. You're going to see the restaurant that we are at, there's a lot of wood and a lot of texture and in the photos, and I thought this is going to help just make my photos pop out more. It's just going to be a little element off to the side of each page. And I'm going to punch out 2 rows of this, 1 for each side. We want to take off 2 strips. Each strip is going to be 1.5 inches. We need 2 of these, 1 for each side. And we're actually going to use the reverse side. Okay, and then the rest of this is going to be used for photo mats. So we need 2 of these by 6 by 4s, and then this will turn, so we want to do 2 at 3 inches. This is actually not used as a photo mat. This is going to be used as an embellishment cluster base. How about that? I picked a recipe that actually has a cluster base already built into it. Let's do the 4.5 first. I'm just cutting along according to the directions on the sheet, so it's going to be a 6.5 by 4.5, and I'm going to do another 4.5 by 6.5. Okay, so that's my cutting. I decided to use the beige cardstock for my background. I wanted something something more than just white. So we have our 1.5 inch piece, which will go right off here to the side, and then this piece will slide up right next to it. Same thing on the other side. And then our border punch, we could tuck it right in under. There we go. So I have that little bit of texture coming out the side there. Okay, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. And there we go. Okay, so let's look right at our seam here. Like I was saying, in the inspiration in the book, they covered that with the punch. But in the example, in the original one that I have on my blog, they covered it with a border sticker. So I brought in some washi tape, and I did bring in some border stickers. I'm going to see if I like either one of these. That's what it'll look like with the squiggly one. I think that might be a little too much over there since I have so much texture with my fishnet. And we don't have to cover it at all. If I just put a little line of washi tape right there. I kind of like this one. Let's go ahead and do this one. This is about a 1/4 inch washi tape. A little thicker than what I normally use. I usually like that little 1/8 of an inch. It brings in a lot, the blue from the paper pack. The paper here, the star paper. That's the page layout. I usually like to give you guys a formula, but I think that one was pretty easy. So it's a 6 by 12 inch piece right here. I like to call that the half and half, and normally it's because we leave half of this and half of that. But you can see how you can just do a minor touch and a twist to the half and half design, and voila, we have a beautiful new page layout. Super easy. I would put this one in your go-to designs because we can repeat this one over and over, different papers. And it's going vertical for today, but it also could go horizontal either like that or like that. So that looks really nice too. Let's bring in our photos and decide what we're going to do. So they have 5 photos. They had a 4 by 4 inch photo here, and actually they did trim this one down to a 3.5 by 5.5. So I went ahead and did that already. This is the one I have not trimmed down. That's a 4 by 6 going horizontal. So that's the page layout. On the other side, they have a 4 by 6 here. They have the vertical one right here, and they have a journaling box and embellishment cluster right over here. I brought in a 6th photo. We'll see if I want to use it. I might change my mind as we go along here. And then for our photo mats, let's start with these. These were supposed to go right here, but my paper was a little short. Let's see what it is so I know how much to trim my photo. 5 3/4-ish. So I probably have to trim it to 5.5. The head went out. There we go. That fits pretty good. And I'm gonna have to do the same up here. And then, okay, so I think on this page over here, this is the layout on this side. I want to scoot things around and kind of mimic what I have on this side. So I'll put my 2 ones that are matted side by side here. So now it makes a little more sense. Instead of putting my horizontal photo up at the top and now having the empty plate, I'd rather have it more telling a story as we go along here. These 2 go right there, and then the 2 little pieces come in like that. Okay, and now for the larger photos, I was following directions. I don't know why that did not line up the way it should have, but we did 5.5, so I'm gonna do 5 and, what did we do? 4.5, and 3.5. So yeah, that looks really nice on the blue. And we'll do the same thing on this one. Nice. Love that blue paper. It just really helps those photos to pop. These were supposed to be matted as well with the blue, but I did miscut those, so I don't think I'm gonna worry about it. I think both these photos look pretty good off to their side like that. And remember, this was an extra photo. So let me go ahead and adhere. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and bring in my tray and see what we have. I did go through my stash. If you saw my binder on my embellishments, I went through and picked out several things to do some embellishment tucking and some pieces, because I'm using the Noteworthy, and I am going to pick off a few of the pieces from here, but there's not a whole bunch. And I also brought in my green and blue, and brown, totally tonal stickers that we can look through. Let's go ahead and start embellishing. See, I did like this one that says Happy Father's Day. The tie doesn't really go with the event because he wasn't wearing a tie, but actually now I'm looking at the plaid on the tie almost matches his shirt that he's wearing, so that's kind of funny. Thinking up here, so this is still going to be loose, so probably something like that. Or it's not going to be loose when I'm done, but you know what I'm saying. I do need to incorporate a little spot for journaling. So they had journaled right over here. They had another piece of paper. It was one of the blue ones actually, and they journaled right on to their original layout, and then on the second one they put a little journaling box. But since I added the extra photo, I need to incorporate a journaling box. So I'm going to bring in this little one from the Noteworthy Days and put it somewhere over here. I don't need a ton of room for journaling, and especially it says Happy Father's Day right there, so we already know. So I'll put it off to the side here and then maybe embellish over the top. So in that case, I'll probably move the sticker over so it looks like something like that. This little sticker I had that said Dad, this little cluster base. Nope, not blue. my little word says Dad, and it's green and blue, so try this one. Tuck that in. That it'll say Dad, and I still have a little bit of room underneath if I wanted to bring something else in over here. This one's only a half a piece, so I either have to tuck it, which we won't see, maybe over here, or put it on top of the brown. See, that made a lot more sense over there. I think I'm going to swap this one out for a blue one. Bring in the same blue that we used for the photo mats on those two. These are just miscellaneous pieces. I'm just going to start my clustering now. This one said good times. In fact, let's move this up. Kind of put good times like that. That's cute. Off the same sticker sheet I got that word Dad, I had these other little glitter. This is a little bit glittery, so I thought I'd better bring in some glitter somewhere else. Let's see if we let's bring this down so we could work with it. Put the little swirly thing like that, and then maybe Dad on top. Tuck it in. That's cute. Maybe put Dad at an angle. Maybe over here. I'm just kind of sprinkling the glitter around now. making sure it's in each cluster. Okay, that's cute. I had these little circles, not even sure. Most of the stuff I don't even know where it came from. It was just in my binder. That one's a little gear. I was looking for just some masculine things. This one's a little crown. Thought that was cute. And let's see what else we have. Maybe I have this, put this up on a circle. I don't know. We're just playing here. I didn't bring it out. Oh yeah, I brought in the number 3 because there was only 3 of us at this luncheon on Father's Day that year. I'm taking that off. So I thought, oh, I'll just put in the little number 3, and it happens to be on brown. And maybe I'll lift that up onto some foam. And we'll put that right up here. Represents the number of people that were there. Bring in one of these arrows. That's kind of cute to kind of point to his lunch. Actually, bring the circle back in. I kind of liked it after all. There we go. There we go. And then that says happy heart. You know what? I think I'm going to do that. It's a little sticker, and let me put it up onto some foam. There we go. Let's take a look at our little stickers. I thought I was going to bring these banners in, but I think it's getting kind of full. I think over here I would like some more green. So if I have anything that I could bring in, that would be green. You know, I think I'm going to go for another circle element. Maybe this one. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. There we go. Maybe up here we need some green. I have another circle. I have this one. Yeah, I like it. I like it because it's very, very subtle. It doesn't stand out at all. It just kind of brings that little pop of green over to that area. So I'm liking that. So I pretty much have brown and blue and green in every embellishment cluster. So that's good. Then the only other thing I think I'm going to bring in is some finishing touches. I have a few things on my tray here that I didn't use, but that's okay. I have these little star enamels that I thought would be super cute. So let's see. Oh, it actually matches the paper really cute. Okay, let's do it like that. Gotta put the brown ones onto the lighter paper. Actually, I'll bring this one over here into my cluster. The lighter ones can go onto that brown paper over here. So we can do something like that. This layout has a lot of room for clustering if you want to practice your clustering, and it gives you the basis to put it on. I think in the sketch you'll see it's here, 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 and here. But I'm only going to do the 3 areas. Let's see. Whoops, one more. I'll come back with some little wet glue for this. Yep, if you like embellishment clusters, try this layout. Can't really see them over here that well, so let's move one where we can see it. This little one's not cooperating. I'll put it right there between that little area where the blue, the green, and the wheel were all kind of competing. And then this one I have to move. I didn't like it up there. I don't know if I want 2 up there or 2 down here. Probably here. Let's try that. And then we'll move the little squirrely thing like that. That gives me still plenty of room. So there we go. That's my layout. I'll get everything adhered down, and then I will post it over on my Facebook page. But a quick layout. I'm glad I got this one done. 2 pages more for my book. So have a great day, everyone, and I hope that you enjoyed that idea using project recipe number 6, actually, but page 16 in the book. Back next week to do, I think I'm going to do some demonstrations of some new tools that Creative Memories has put out, and we'll see what we can make with them. Okay, so come back next week and we'll see what we're going to do. Take care, everybody. Bye.